Radical.
Welcome to part one of Radical Rapid Fire Comment Response for July 4th through July 10, 2022. Short comments, quick replies. Rune Mamba. Hell no, I don't want Kyrie back on my team. Okay, listen, there was some confusion, Rune Mamba. I thought it was kind of weird. I'm thinking, like, did he switch teams? You said your team, and then it was on me. My bad. But no, I don't think whatever team you would ever choose to root for in the future, I know we all have maybe our favorites and everything. Yeah, the Celtics are your team, and you wouldn't want Kyrie back on the Celtics. I wouldn't either. I mean, the Celtics made it to the finals. Look at it this way. You know, after Kyrie left, Boston doing great, made it to the finals. Do you think they would make it to the finals with Kyrie on their team? Like, let's say if you were just putting Kyrie on their team, just adding him to the team, and didn't have to give anything. I don't think Boston would go for that. Ninja Master, it would be cheaper to build furniture from literal Madden disk than use wood. Okay, I thought about this for a little while. I'm wondering if it actually would be cheaper with the rise in, wood costs, the rise in anything to build a home. All those costs are through the roof right now. And plastic, I don't know if plastics went up. So leave it in the comment section down below if you know the answer to this. Would it be cheaper to use Madden disk to build like something like a chair? Okay, or would it be cheaper to actually buy the wood? I'm still thinking even with wood cost up there, it'd be cheaper using wood. But it depends on, how good of a deal you get on Madden Disc if you buy them in bulk. Has anyone ever built any furniture out of Madden Disc? Derry W, nice collection of games, and by the way, it's football, not soccer. Okay, here in the States, we have a sport called football that near the playoffs, very questionable, I would add, very questionable far as it goes, its legitimacy. I will say, at least with soccer, I mean, I don't know much about soccer, but I don't know if soccer is as heavily rigged as the NFL can be, as, last year was. Pretty obvious to most people that it was last year. Not saying it's always been, but at least last year it kind of was. Now, when it comes to the word, I just had a solution. We're going to call it feet ball. Just call it feet ball. And that way both sides can agree, feet ball. Because over there you call it football, here, we have football. But let's just all call it feet ball. Because use both of your feets. Kev, 7-11-2001. Sports games never retain value. That's why they're so cheap. They are outdated after that year, just collecting purposes if people buy. Yeah, I mean, there's people out there that want to collect all the Maddens. And they will, specifically point to certain things about the game, certain differences. They're not all technically 100% the same, so there might be differences from year to year. There are some collectible sports games, though. I will point to the NFL 2K series. And some of you actually pointed out that there are some rare collectible sports games. But 90% of them, yeah, they're outdated, and that's why they're so cheap. Hey, if you just want to play games, if you just want to get a system and play a game, for $1, then a sports game is your way to go. Let's say you don't care about the rosters at all, whatnot. Chicago Infinity, which one was the short one? The one that was 5 feet tall? Well, usually, unless you're talking about like midgets, the one that's 5 foot tall would always be the short one. But if you are talking about midgets, 5 feet tall, if you're 5 feet tall, then you are a huge midget. You are the towering king or queen of the midgets. You would run all the midget people. I don't know if there's like a little society or hierarchy, but yeah. You're not a short person. You're a tall midget if you're 5 foot tall. Larry Bundy Jr., he never intended to buy Twitter. He was after their analytics and information so he could create a rival site. Twitter was legally obligated to give a potential buyer that info, but they knew what he was up to and refused. It's interesting. If they're legally obligated to hand out the info, then couldn't they be in breach? I wonder when it comes to a lawsuit. If they didn't give them that info, maybe they could be in breach. But I get it. If you're somebody like Muskie that wants to create maybe a rival site like Muskie to, rival Twitter, maybe he was, you're right, never after Twitter. Maybe they also knew, like you said, what he was up to. Because it's kind of weird out of the blue, like he wants to buy Twitter. I mean, I'm sure they were happy to sell for a giant amount of money, but yeah, this is going to be interesting to follow. Arioka. In his 1991 book, A View from Above, Will Chamberlain claimed he'd slept with 20,000 women over the course of his career. Now that's some serious trim. I guess he was going for all the records. Yeah, when it comes to sports records, I think that one's probably not going to be outdone. Well, records by a sports player during their career. Think about that. Not 20,000 in his life, but if he's, not lying, 20,000 over the course of his career. What was his career like? 15 years? So that would be over 1,000 women a year, and there had to be like a lot of threesomes in that, a lot of triple stacking women.